All right. Well, what we have in store for everybody today is a fun class on crystals, and we're going to do a little bit of show and tell. So as far as this class, we're going to leave our cameras on that we can see each other's crystals. We're going to tell you a little bit about how to shop for crystals, how to choose crystals, how to clear crystals, and how to set crystals. With that, we're also going to do a meditation at the top of the hour. And take a break. We have a raffle today. Katina, you're interested in doing a raffle today too?
Sure.
Okay. Dr. Smith is with us, so Katina Smith is also going to participate in our raffle today. We got folks still coming in. Good, good. And we'll do questions and answers at the end. If you have any questions about crystals, if you have any questions about world news events, if you have any questions about your intuitive senses and how to connect with this God consciousness ether that we live in to get God wisdom, then we want to be able to answer all of your questions. And what we'll do is put your questions in chat, and then towards the end, we're going to pull the questions up and see if we can get as many as we can answered. Well, it's so good to see everybody's faces. I'm going to turn on my view. Rosie, hi there.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Spirit these spirit circles are designed to provide a safe place for everyone to be able to understand your intuitive senses and be able to get guidance and wisdom through the universe, through your higher self, your spirit guides. And we do that through our bodies. And what we're going to do in today's class is talk a little bit about crystals and how they resonate with our vibrational frequencies. We are water beings, other interdimensionals and extraterrestrials. They see us on Earth and they consider us water beings. We're like 80% water, right? So there's crystalline in our DNA, and that is what resonates with crystals for healing purposes. We're going to talk a little bit about putting together a crystal healing set as well. And the crystals we use for reminding ourselves of a goal or a possibility, and an intention, where we can actually set something into the memory of crystals. With crystals, it doesn't matter what size they are. We have crystals in our watches, crystals in our computers, crystals in our satellites. They use crystals in spaceships. So it doesn't necessarily matter the size of the crystal. The ones in our watches are the size of a pinhead. And we're going to talk about the different aspects of some of the crystals and their characteristics. And they help us to focus on what you want versus what you don't want. They have a perfect energy balance, and our thoughts and feelings resonate as vibrational frequencies that we can put into our crystals. And when we're carrying them around, they're like gentle reminders. I have one that's rose quartz heart, and it is my reminder of the Christ consciousness energy. And I use this to help raise my vibrational frequency, especially when I'm like really mad at somebody. It's like, okay, who am I being in this moment? So I want to share one picture to see if you all recognize who this person is. So I'm going to, let me see. His name came up during the last spirit circle. I think it was Princess. I don't know if she's on the call today. Edgar Casey did channeling messages in the early part of the century and brought through healing wisdom from an interdimensional, from eighth dimension consciousness. And he put together called Edgar Casey on the power of colors, stones, and crystals. And it's an excellent book. And basically what he speaks of is the vibrational frequency of colors and their impact on our body. You're familiar with the chakra energy system: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and light consciousness up above us. So what we're going to talk about is the vibrational frequency of colors and crystals and their relationship together. So I have a quiz, a fun quiz over here, to be able to see what crystal might resonate best for you. I'm going to put a link in chat. Fuzzy, I got your message. Thank you. Okay, if you all can look in chat, I've got a link to the energymuse.com crystal test. And what I'd like you to do is click on that link. It's a fun little exercise. You want to take a look at all the crystals and note which ones your eyes linger on. And you want to click 4 stones. And then click Get My Results. And it's going to tell you a little bit about the crystals that you chose. And share in chat, what kind of crystals did you end up choosing? I just want to know. I'm curious. So what I'm going to do before we get into talking about colors and our psychic senses, I'm going to recite a protection prayer around us. And what I'd like for you to do while I'm doing the protection prayer is a couple of deep breaths, right? So our connection to our higher selves is through our breath. So deep breaths, filling your lungs full of air and releasing while I share this protection prayer. A link to the protection prayer is also in your handout. We humbly ask the divine light to protect us on all levels. We ask for the heavenly rays to be poured upon us in abundance. May the Christ light, the Buddha light, the Mahatma energy, the Holy Spirit, the Reiki energy, light of all archangelic beings and ascended masters encase us with their love. We ask our spirit guides and our guardian angels to place a protective light around our beings and around our dwellings. May all that is not in accordance with the highest good of source energy within and about us be immediately transmuted somewhere else with divine love and light. I humbly ask for Archangel Michael and the Sasquatch elders to protect us now. We will only allow the highest light to come through our group, that we are in all ways abundantly guided, prospered, and blessed. We give thanks that our genuine powers of intuition and creative imagination are now released, and that divine light, and love come through us now. We love the highest and best in all people, and we now draw the highest, best, and most prosperous-minded people to us. May our environment now glow with radiant beauty, health, riches, and radiant good. The forgiving love of divine intelligence has set us free from the mistakes of the past. We now face the present moment now and in the future, wise, secure, and unafraid. So be it, and so it is. All right, and that protection prayer goes out not just to us, you in your homes, but also those listening to the recording as well. choosing a crystal. The crystals that I have purchased, I've actually been able to go to the store and hold it in my hand. And what they say is the crystal actually picks you. So going into a crystal shop and looking at crystals, holding them in your hand, just identifying if they feel right to you, and ask yourself, how does this stone make me feel? The stones that you're drawn to are the stones that have the most important lessons, maybe even a message. Taking that crystal quiz may have given you some insight into the crystals that you're most attracted to. If you are looking to identify a particular crystal, let's say somebody gives you a crystal as a gift, and you're like, what kind of crystal is this? How do I find out what the metaphysical properties of this is? One way you can find out is if you go online to images.google.com, and you can search for crystals, their properties. You could type in, show me red and green crystals, and you're going to be able to identify the type of crystal that you may have, or if it's a black and brown crystal. You can go on Google and identify by typing in the characteristics, and you'll see a bunch of crystals show up, and you'll be able to identify whatever one that you have. That's one way of naming your crystals. We're going to talk about the different colors and what metaphysical properties they may have. And what we want to do with the crystals is, so, they've been handled by the store owners, they've been handled by merchandisers, they've been handled by delivery folks, wherever those crystals came from, they've gone through a lot of energetic transitions to get to you. So once you get your crystal, what we want to do is clear it. Once you have chosen your crystal, how do you clear your crystals? Where to purchase crystals. I have a note in here that I wanted to share a couple of metaphysical places here in Virginia. For those of you who are in Maryland, Virginia, DC area, the Sacred Circle in Alexandria, Virginia has crystals. The Crystallis Treasures shop in Herndon, Virginia has crystals. The River Phoenix in Manassas, Virginia has crystals. The Crystal Cat in Woodstock, Virginia has crystals. And I also have an online link. There's lots of places where you can buy crystals, but I'm going to put in an online link. Oh, I see some. Nelson, agate, amethyst, lapis lazuli, labradorite. Purples and blues. Interesting, Nelson. Ozzy, let me look at this image that you posted. Ooh, citrine. That's one of my favorites. Unakite. That's what this one was. Very interesting. Aquamarine, Amazonite, some greens and yellows. Jessica, I live in Maryland. I usually buy them at Crystal Fox in Laurel, Maryland. There's also a crystal shop in Southern Maryland, Mechanicsville area. The Mystic Moon. They have crystals there too. Gladys, I'm reading green and lapis lazuli and the salmon colored one in jade. So pinks and greens, that's very interesting. Caroline, angelite, azurite, malachite is a very strong crystal for protection as well. A lot of men wear malachite, and rainbow obsidian. Did I share that? Yeah, crystal vaults. There's one place you can buy online. And I have been listening to Elena Danaan talk about crystals, and she says absolutely you can buy them online and they still can bring you that same metaphysical property when you get them. You still want to look at clearing them. We're going to talk about clearing next. The other thing I want to share is as far as crystals, they do not, they are not restricted by man-made things. So you can carry them around in a leather pouch. You can carry them around in your purse. You can put them in a Ziploc bags. You can put them in boxes, and still their energy will transmit. Some of us have put them in our undergarments and carried crystals around. I've done that before. And we want to make sure we clear our crystals. So let's talk a little bit about clearing your crystals. Once you have your crystal, there's a couple of different ways that you can clear a crystal. You can run it under tap water, and that will help cleanse and clear the crystal. You can set the crystal in sunlight, and that will clear the crystal of any memory that it previously had. You want to be careful when you set them in sunlight, though, because if you set them in the window, they are similar to a magnifying glass, and you want to be very careful that they don't have that intensity and create a fire. So be mindful when you're putting them in the sun, that you're only putting them in the sun for maybe about an hour, and that you're not leaving them there. The other thing you can do to clear your crystals is set them out in the full moon. And we have a full moon coming up in a few days on Wednesday. You can put your crystals in the full moon and clear them that way. I also identified another way of clearing crystals from Elena Danaan again, and Dan Willis put together some crystal classes. And I have a link to those crystal classes in the handout. What Dan Willis had done was had worked with Dr. Marcel Vogel, who had done some in-depth research regarding crystals and their metaphysical properties. And what they identified is being able to clear a crystal through our breath. This is Dr. Vogel, and he put together several healing practices using crystals. And what he has in his hand there is a Vogel crystal that is cut in a specific way, so that one point to the second point is horizontally dimensional, and this particular one has 6 sides. And what he would do is breathe 3 short breaths with focus and intention to set his ideal into the crystal, be it healing, be it forgiveness, be it strength, courage, prosperity. He would use crystals to be able to do healing practices with his students. Again. And I'm going to share with you a link to the 2 videos that Elena Danaan and Dan Willis put together on crystals. I'm going to put this in chat. That has 2 classes that Elena Danaan did this past year, and they are filled with good information. And what I found inspiring was she is channeling Genhan Iridian, who is Thorhan Iridian's younger brother. She is in communication with Thorhan, and through this being, they're able to compare notes with the work done by Dr. Vogel and identify ways to be able to use crystals for healing. And in there, it talks about clearing your crystals with breath, that you're holding it in such a way, and you breathe out through your nose 3 times, or you could breathe out through your mouth 3 times, but it's your breath your intention. Breath carries memories and thought. It also carries the energy of you as a sovereign being, not only the encoding of your DNA, but the encoding of your soul also helps to set the crystal through your breath. You can do it through the nose. You can also do it through the mouth. The energy force is a living manifestation of source, and that is what is being impregnated in the crystal. In your handout, there's also a picture of a Vogel crystal that has a specific cut. It is clear, and this is what Dr. Vogel used when he was doing healing practices. A little bit later in the class, I'm going to show you another type of powerful crystal. The particular crystal that's pictured in your handout is like $12,000. I haven't made that kind of investment in a crystal, but I am going to show you some also powerful that are less expensive and have a distinct characteristic. So how to energize your crystal. So once you set that intention, and I think, yes, I have an affirmation in the handout that goes like this. I now am grateful for all the health and well-being this body receives from divine source. And focusing that intention into your crystal sets the memory of the crystal. And now as you're carrying the crystal around, you want to carry your crystal around for about 2 weeks. In your jeans pocket, in your purse, preferably on your person. That is allowing that vibrational frequency between you and your crystal to be able to resonate with one another, so that when you do put it in your nightstand at home or put it on your desk at work, it's that visual reminder when you are looking to be able to remember what that possibility is. I had shared with you that at work I was struggling with a difficult situation that I had, and I was upset about it. And I didn't want to come at the situation in a place of being upset. I wanted to come at the situation bringing some type of solution to the table. And I was able to do that by using my own crystals, carrying them with me. We're allowed to take crystals into the Pentagon still. So I had them with me. I have them on my desk, and they're gentle reminders for me to remember what I'm committed to in interacting with people at work, being a leader, and also being patient and kind in the face of any kind of gossip or negative Nancy or people talking bad about each other at work. I really just want to let that go and not be part of that, but that my conversations are uplifting and inspiring. So that's one way to be able to use crystals. So we're going to talk about the possibility of putting together a starter set of healing crystals. I have one image that shows my crystals. Let me see if I can share that with you. Let me share my screen. Okay. So on the top left, you see my crystals. I have one for each chakra. I also use a pendulum with my crystals. And you see here on the right where I'm working with one of my clients, and I have crystals set all along their chakra energy meridians. And I'm reading the energy of their chakras with a pendulum. I believe anybody can do this. I don't think it's necessarily a special gift. I think it's something that all humans are intrinsically able to do, to use pendulums or divining rods. And you're able to identify if somebody's energy is blocked, the pendulum will move very small or not at all. If their chakra energy center is wide open, then you're going to see the pendulum swing. For me, sometimes it'll swing in a diagonal flow, so I know that it's not necessarily blocked, but there might be some healing to be able to do in using your healing crystals. So I invite you to put together your own crystal healing set, and I'm going to share with you a little bit about the different colors. You may already have the aspects of a healing set in your home now. So Razi asked me if I have an altar. And I do. I have a particular area in my home where I am using my crystals, and it has a large picture on the wall, and it has my sage, my incense, my tarot cards. It's a very small table where I have all of my divination tools, and it's in a room where I do a lot of meditations. And I brought all of those up into my office today to be able to share with everyone. And I invite each of you to be able to put together an altar of things that inspire you, that help you connect with your higher self, any divination tools that you might find, crystals, incense. I was burning a little bit of incense that helps to open up the crown chakra. And let's go ahead and talk about the different crystals and their colors, that you might get a sense of what is a crystal that may resonate with you if you're looking to purchase a crystal for a particular area of your life that you're interested in getting help with or improving some type of shift in beliefs. We're going to go through the crystals, and we're going to go through crystal colors from the root chakra up to the crown chakra. If you want to follow in the handout, I'm going to share with you a little bit about that. So each healing stone or crystal has a message, a specific color, and a physical vibration that emits positive energy to attune and energize with your own body's energy system, you crystal being. So the root chakra, does anybody have any red crystals with them? Just gonna look. Red crystals. Caroline, you have a red one? Yeah, hold that up to the camera for me. Ooh, it almost looks like a red tiger's eye.
Yeah, it's carnelian, but it kind of looks like it has some agate in it too.
Oh, yep. I'm used to carnelians being more orange, but I can see the aspects of it. It's absolutely beautiful. So reds and blacks, black tourmaline, shungite. These are protective crystals. And the red ones also help with grounding and connecting with Mother Earth. I have a red jasper. And when this particular energy system is blocked in your body, it might feel like fear. It might feel like sexual addiction or anxiety. It may feel like trauma where you're in that fight or flight mode. And that root chakra energy system deals with our survival issues, right? Our physical beings that we want to feel grounded and secure. The organs that this particular crystal can help heal, and this is again through the Edgar Cayce work, sex organs, pelvic floor, bladder, the lower bowel area, that area of procreation, elimination, sexuality. It's also one of the most tremendous and creative energies in our body is in that root chakra. And if that's blocked, everything above it is blocked because of the way the energy comes down through us, spins around, and comes back up. So we want to do our best to keep this energy center open. What does it mean when your root chakra is functioning and working and optimized, you feel grounded and protected and balanced, and you have that connection with Mother Earth. A couple of recommendations for reds and blacks for the root chakra: onyx, obsidian, black tourmaline, red jasper, fire agate. I think I saw I saw jasper in the chat. Yep, that's a good one. Does anybody have any orange crystals? Valerie, orange crystals. Carnelian is what Caroline had shared, is hers had a little bit more of a red nature to it. So we're looking at that somewhere between the root chakra and the sacral chakra area of your body, that would help. With orange, what does it feel like when your sacral chakra is out of balance? This is your creativity area, your passion area. This feels like possibly guilt or shame or unworthiness. If it's out of balance, it might feel like victimization. And it deals with movement. It deals with your digestive system and elimination. It's the part of your body that helps to break down food, the hormones that balance your sugar levels. This is your center for holding on and letting go. Certain organs that are affected by this particular area of the body, again, your digestive system, it's like right below your navel area. For women, this is our ovaries, our uterus area, the colon, pancreas, your lower back area. What does it feel like when your sacral chakra is in the flow? You are creative, passionate. This is your sexuality area. When in balance, you feel safe and secure in your environment. And some excellent crystals. The orange crystals, carnelian, sunstone, goldstone, they have like little specks of gold in them. Orange calcite is another sacral stone. How about yellow? Does anybody have any yellow crystals? Nelson, I saw your hand up. Can you share it? Hold it up to the camera. I think that's citrine. Do you know what it is?
No, I don't.
I think it is citrine. It is a stone that helps to activate this solar plexus area of your body. This is where your healing powers come from. It comes down through the top chakra energy centers and down through the solar plexus. It's connected to your hands. So if you're doing any healing work, yellow crystals and green crystals, we're going to talk about green crystals next. Those are great for being able to do energy work. It's that solar plexus area is where our joy comes from, our happiness. This is the area of our free will and sense of self. What does it look like when our solar plexus is out of balance? This feels like things are cray-cray. They're out of control. You're impatient. You're upset. Very ego-driven when your solar plexus chakra is out of balance. It feels like you're turning your own life force back in on you. And it could also be self-destructive, or you might find yourself self-medicating because you have those intuitive senses and you're like, okay, enough world, stop. And when we do energy work and we understand our own bodies and how to take care of ourselves and raise our own frequency using crystals or other divination tools, That helps us to stay clear in a crazy world, that you are able to feel confident and secure. The different organs that this particular chakra energy system affects is your adrenal glands, your stomach, small intestines, spleen, liver, gallbladder, kidneys. These are also associated with the hormones, including adrenaline and cortisol. And when that particular energy system is in the flow, your solar plexus area, what does that feel like? It feels like joy, happiness, brilliance. That connection to God source energy is strong. It's associated with your own willpower, self-importance, self-control, and it gives you that uplift of self-esteem and directed intention. The crystals that are good to help with that solar plexus vibrational frequency are the yellow ones: citrine, yellow quartz, old stone, those colors. Having one of those yellow crystals in your crystal energy kit helps to raise your vibrational frequency of all of your energy systems. Green, this is your heart chakra. This is the area of unconditional love and relationships. My research has shown that pink is also a powerful crystal to be able to raise the frequency of the heart chakra. Your heart chakra is actually the most extended part of your body, that this particular frequency can sometimes go 3, 5, even 10 feet out. Like you can reach people through the activation of your heart chakra without even saying a word. You can send love, you can send forgiveness, you can send healing. When it's out of balance, this particular chakra feels like grief, debt. If you have a lot of debt, you might want to look at doing some healing work around the heart chakra. If you are possibly needing to forgive somebody for something they may have said or done, or even forgive yourself of something where you may have your integrity out and there might be some healing work to do for yourself, that self-love. What would somebody who loves themselves do? This deals with the clairsentient gift, that you feel the vibrational frequency of energy of others, that you feel the energy of yourself. Matters of the heart, prosperity, abundance. When this chakra is wide open, money is flowing in. There is nothing stopping it. This is also the area, the physical area in your body is your heart, your lungs, the thymus gland, your immune system. And when it's flowing, when that heart chakra is activated and it doesn't have any constrictions or constraints, it looks like being able to be compassionate with others. It also allows for you to have that affinity with others, being connected with others. It's associated with love and caring, nurturing, gratitude, thankfulness, appreciation, kindness, inspiration, selflessness, wholeness, and trust. And this is where your divinity lives. This is the seat of the soul area of your body. Crystals that help with the vibrational frequency of the heart chakra are the Kambaba jasper. It's actually only available in Madagascar. The pink tourmaline is very powerful. Aventurine, aquamarine. I think Rozzy had aquamarine in his list. Moss agate, it's a beautiful green color. Jade, malachite, serpentine, Unikite has the green and the pink inside of it. This is a good one if you're looking to form a relationship, a partnership. This is a good crystal to use. And rose quartz. And what we're going to do in the vibrational frequency of green is I'm going to share a meditation, a channeled message from Archangel Raphael. Let me get that ready for us.
While you're getting that ready, I want to answer Rosie's question.
Okay.
I think that's a good question. You're asking about, is there too many in one pouch, or the color of the pouch making a difference, or also stones compatibility. So a lot of that has to deal with when you program your stones, because the way that you set your intentions and program your stones has a lot to deal with what vibration that they're sending out and how it affects you and other people. So for instance, I attended a powwow and there was a singer who was at a table, and she said during her performance, someone was wearing a very large crystal quartz around their neck. But because they hadn't programmed the stone properly, the energy of the crystal was actually making her very, very nervous. The anxiety that was probably feeding off of that person was probably reflected in the crystal, and she could feel it during her performance. So when you actually program your crystal, and this also has a lot to do with clearing your crystal periodically, because your crystals do absorb the energy away from you as to protect you, but they will actually break if they've absorbed too much and you haven't cleared them. So they're protecting you actively, but you do have to periodically clear them. So when you set your intentions, make sure you set your intentions for them to work with you, because the energy will spread and affect other people. Now, when you have it in a pouch, the color of the pouch, if you want to amplify a particular energy, you can. So if you want to focus more on your crown chakra, you can put it in a purple pouch if you like. It doesn't have to be specific with color. Now, one thing to think about is if you feel like that's too much in your pouch, that's okay. You can take some out if you only want to focus on some at a particular time. Me, myself, I have crystal angels that I carry with me. And based on the vibration of the day, I may grab one versus another, or I may grab my stones. And I believe you have, Regina, in your handout about you choosing your crystals. So you can also go about, well, I want this one for this purpose and this one for that purpose, and I'll put them in my pouch and carry them with me. Now, when it comes to how do you know when to clean them, you may start to forget them more. Or you may notice that, especially if it's a clearer stone, it may seem more cloudy than usual. Smoky quartz and clear quartz may seem that way. So those are some other ways that the crystal lets you know that it's time for a clearing. Also, it was asked earlier about what can be set in water. Some crystals are very porous, and putting them in water will actually ruin the texture and the integrity of the crystal. Selenite should never be in water. Turquoise is also extremely porous, so you do not want to put that in water as well. You will notice that the outside texture of turquoise will change if you put it in too much water. So these are
Opals.
I'm sorry, what?
Opals.
Yes, opals as well.
They're not
So
good.
it's actually safer for you to consider using sage or energy sprays. You can also wrap it in white cloth if you would like to and pray over them. You could do it in the moonlight or the sunlight, but also double check your crystals. Some crystals don't do so well in a lot of heat. So I would recommend having also look up some research about the crystals that you choose, or even pick up like the Crystal Bible. That's one book. There's also some smaller books about crystal education, just the basics, so that you know about that, because some are just groups of classes of crystals that you will find out these types tend to do better with this, these types tend to do better with that. Question about, do you program the stones prior to use? Yes, you do. Because as Regina mentioned earlier, when you receive them from the store, they've also been handled by other people. They've gone through a number of environments, so you want to clean them to set them for you. Have you cleansed them through sand? I haven't done sand, I've done salt. Salt is another way to clear your crystal. Salt helps absorb energies out of the crystal. But of course, check your crystal.
I actually heard that Himalayan salt may deteriorate some of the crystals.
It depends on the crystal.
Yeah, some of them. So that's salt is one of the things I took off of my list. I used to clear them in pink Himalayan salt, but I didn't do that anymore.
Yeah, it depends on the crystal. Like it's also common chemistry. So, you don't put certain things in salt because like if it is an actual metal, salt doesn't do so well. So you wouldn't want to put pyrite in salt. So it depends. Usually a 24-hour cycle is usually what they recommend. Also, there was a question about the moon cycles. Regina, do you have an answer about that?
My understanding about the moon cycles is you can use your crystals in the same way that you would setting your intentions for when it's a full moon, like Wednesday, it's going to be a full moon. You're looking at clearing things out and letting things go. For a new moon using crystals, that's when you want to manifest and intend and create. I hope that helps.
Yes, I
wanted to say it was one crystal. I don't know if when we take a break, I'll see if I can find it, but I think it was purchased so it can increase my psychic and empath ability, but it was so strong. I held it in my hand and I could feel the energy, so I took it out and put it on my pillow next to me, and it was still coming in so strong I had to take it off the bed and put it back in a pouch.
I can see that happening.
And
Yes.
that was crazy.
That it's that
it was
powerful.
just like, and I couldn't sleep, I couldn't concentrate, I couldn't do anything.
And did that help when you put it in your pouch, when you set it away from your body?
It shut everything off, which was good. I haven't looked at it since.
So it may need reprogramming.
Oh, well,
Consider
one thing I never programmed none of the stones. I was just trying, you put it in your hand, you're just trying to connect to it. That's all I did. I didn't know about programming.
Yeah, so programming is just another word for setting your intentions with the crystal.
Okay. Thanks.
Sure. Also, someone was asking about energizing the crystal. So that's also another thing to consider. Some crystals are better with the moon versus the sun. So you need to do a little research about your crystal for that.
Any other questions?
Is longer than was expected because much of humanity has not answered the call and has allowed themselves to be distracted in the Maya and the illusion of the material world controllers. There are many reasons for this, but humanity now finds itself at the brink of no return. For this reason, Mother Earth rejoices and weeps simultaneously. As the third dimensional reality slides more and more into anarchy, oppression and fear, the fifth dimensional reality has already been separated from it. Those who have long been awoken have been working tirelessly to maintain their high vibrations and to assist those in the next wave of ascended consciousness. Awakening souls have been called to resolve their past issues and to heal from trauma, as it is not possible to maintain a fifth dimensional consciousness when one is weighed down by grief, anger, resentment and hatred. This process of healing in order to ascend once took many months, if not years. But now it is happening at a much faster rate because there is no time to waste. Awareness of the plight of humanity is one thing, but it takes connection to one's spiritual essence to know that the responsibility for the density of consciousness on the planet belongs to every individual. The planet cannot move out of the grips of darkness if people do not realize that, by changing their own reality, the world around them also changes. There is not one human in the world who does not have control over the direction that their lives are taking. It is only their thoughts and the allowance of fear to overcome their psyche and block their spiritual connections that is keeping many humans locked into the lower dimensions of consciousness. Those who cannot find the light within them will always be drawn to darker thoughts, which then have negative outcomes. I come to you today to offer assistance to unlock the grief in your hearts and to heal from the past so that you too can find the light within. Once you have done so, opportunities and possibilities that the universe can provide will suddenly avail themselves to you, and you will be flooded with abundant gifts from the infinite storehouse of creation. Allow my gentle energy to permeate your being, dear hearts. Allow me to wrap you in my wings and to gently draw out the pain, anger, grief, and fear that has been locked in your bodies and energy fields, preventing you from aligning to your divinity. Bring your awareness to your crown chakra and allow it to connect to the light of Source, the Supreme Creator whose light is one with yours. Heal your heart and begin to heal your life. Do not delay any longer, nor allow yourself to remain in fear at the hurt that it may unlock. Acceptance of your past and the path you have trodden in paramount to you, beginning to write a new story for yourself and to emerge from the fog of the third, fourth dimension. Allow yourself to heal and then watch yourself soar. Believe that you can be the change that the world needs to see and immerse yourself in the love that has been in your heart all along. When you heal, the world heals, one heart at a time. I am Raphael, Archangel of the East, Archangel of Air, your trusted companion of light. And so it is.
So we're going to pick up with the chakra energy systems and the different crystals. And now we're talking about the throat chakra. These are your blue crystals. When it's out of balance, it feels like people are criticism, gossip, jealousy, slander, those kinds of energies when the throat chakra is out of balance. What it deals with are your clairsentient gifts, your ability to hear, your ability to speak your truth, and your ability to listen. The different organs that this particular crystal can help energize is the thyroid gland, your throat, salivary glands, tissues of the neck. These are the hormones that govern the body's metabolism and calcium levels. When it is in the flow, this allows you to speak your truth, your communication, your ability to manifest, where you speak your creations into existence, your self-expression and leadership. The blue crystals help to activate this throat chakra. So if you were interested in public speaking or speaking to a group, you might want to use a blue crystal. Having blue crystals with you helps raise that vibrational frequency and opens up that throat chakra. Good blue crystals that you can use for these, kyanite, larimar, lapis lazuli, Amazonite, blue lace, agate. Does anybody have any blue crystals? I'm just gonna look. Nelson's got one. Kevin's got one. Hold it up to the camera, Kevin. Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
Hey, Regina, how do we get back in touch with you? I'm happy that you mentioned public speaking, something I deal with and would love to know more about crystals, gemstones, and other items. We follow you up by email.
Fantastic. Yes, you can reach out to me through Meetup, or you can email me at regina@spirit1234.com.
I've had a lot of people say I'm so nervous when I speak and would love to know a little more.
Yes, fantastic. You see, Erica, you have it. That looks like an aventurine.
And I think it's like with fluorite too.
Yes, yes. Fluorite,
Yeah.
yeah. That's beautiful. Nelson, hold yours a little bit closer. That looks like sodalite. I see Katrina shaking her head. Yes, I do have a piece. I don't have a piece of that with me right here, but that's excellent. A good one for the throat chakra. All right, so we're going to look at the third eye chakra now. This is your ability to see clearly, clarity, and focus. When it's out of focus, it means the possibility of denial, you're closed-minded, you're disconnected from spirit. It deals with your clairvoyance gift, your visualization. For those that are seers, the blue crystals, these are this is an indigo purple crystal that's going to help open that area up. Remote viewing, and people who are clairvoyant also are the ones who are dreaming in color. The organs that this particular crystal can enhance are your pineal gland, the back of the head, the center of the brain. This is also, because it's with your eyes, your third eye, it's also associated with the door to higher dimensions of consciousness, seeing beyond 3D. And it also gives you a sense of the different vibrational frequencies. It's the glands that also secrete like serotonin and melatonin that helps your body rhythm go from awake during the day to sleep at night. If this crystal is open and flowing, this is your ability to use your intuition, your imagination, creative thinking. If you have a problem, you may want to use these indigo crystals to be able to help activate that ability to connect with higher consciousness. This is also the area that gives you insight into colors and vibrations. And it's also sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies beyond visible light. The purple crystals are purple fluorite. There's different colors of fluorite, like we just identified. The purple fluorite, moonstone, blue goldstone, dumortierite. Howlite is actually a white crystal that has gray in it. It helps to activate that third eye chakra as well. How about purples? Do we have any purples? I use amethyst. Oh, those are beautiful. That looks like amethyst and Divya, what's the beads? Are those amethyst as well? They're beautiful.
Yep, those are amethyst.
And I heard amethyst is an excellent stone for helping to bridge that communication between yourself and your higher self. Amethyst is excellent for that. Amethyst in a mudra has amethyst and rose quartz that I do when I do readings. So the crown chakra, let's talk about the crown chakra next. This is your connection to divine love. It is in activation when you are in a state of enlightenment. When it's out of balance, it might feel like defensiveness or ego-driven. It deals with your ability to know things, the ability to understand things. People who are claircognizant, they may have thoughts and ideas, and they have no idea where the information came from. That's when you have that connection to your higher self, that you're able to tune in regardless of what's going on out there, that you're able to check in with your own self, identify what's true for you, and be able to download any thoughts, ideas, or guidance from your higher self or your spirit guides. This is the master gland over all the other glands, down to the sexual glands, is that pituitary gland. And having that gland activated allows for that intuitive ability to channel information, to have information come through you. That connection to God consciousness energy, whatever your higher level guide is, be it a interdimensional being or somebody that you aspire to, that's where you're able to get that connection with the spirit world. And that's having all of your energy centers working and open, that has the energy flow through that crown chakra and then back down to be able to receive guidance and wisdom. Balance. You're in harmony with all things. With the crown chakra, these are the white crystals. You can use selenite that Tina had mentioned. That is something that you can use for clearing. It also is, I don't want to use the word porous, but it splinters in a sense. So you want to be careful, but you can use selenite. You can use it to wave over your body. Show you. Selenite wands like this that you can clear your energy. This is something I had picked up from a psychic medium in Manassas. You can clear your energy with selenite. The clear crystals. I have one, and we're going to talk about this one next, that is a clear quartz crystal. It's from Brazil, and it has like layers. Let me show you a picture. This is one, I had bought this crystal, never spent this much money on a crystal before, but when I picked it up, I don't know if you can see, but there's like an indent behind it, so I can hold it, and it feels secure in my hands versus dropping it. It's very, very heavy. One of my favorites. Let me show you a picture of a Lemurian seed crystal, because you may have one of these in your possession and not know it. Let me show you a picture. It is a Lemurian starseed crystal, and it has layers. The Lemurians are believed to have foreseen a cataclysmic event and prepared seed crystals to preserve their knowledge and tradition. And that's what these layers identify. So if you have any clear quartz crystals, and some of them are smooth, but some of them, if you look on the edges, you might be able to see these bumps and ridges that identify these Lemurian crystals. Legend also has it that the Lemurians, they have departed the earth for the stars, and they are also looking to continue to reach back to our planet, perhaps as light beings or spirits. And whether legends are true or not, the value and power of these crystals is extremely powerful, and you'll be amazed with what just comes to mind when you're working with one of these crystals. I was able to manifest a house using this type of crystal and using one of Orin's meditation guides that allowed me to clear any energy, any angst or anxiety about the mortgage process, buying the house. I knew this was what I wanted, and I was able to get calm while I went through the process. And I'm so, so, so happy that I did. It was a smooth transaction. There were some things I wanted extra in the house, and I was able to communicate those, and bought myself a house in the Shenandoah Valley. And I believe that it was using the use of crystals and guided meditations that was allowing me to stay focused and going after what I wanted for myself in my life. I'm going to stop sharing. And just we're going to take a quick break. If you want to get any other crystals that you have, if you want to take a quick bathroom break, grab a blanket. We're going to do a guided meditation together with Orin that is giving you the opportunity to see how energy works with your body, and also clearing energy within your body. That's also going to help you work with your crystals as well. In chat while we're waiting for everyone to come back. Selenite is stone's name, which has me overstimulated. Ozzy, I'm going to agree with Kachina that clearing that crystal may help you as far as resetting the energy in the crystal, and then intending something that you want for yourself in your life. Okay, Kachina says she'll provide some more details for us regarding selenite. Could you please repeat the type of crystal used to cleanse the body? That would be selenite, that you're able to. Selenite. We're also going to do our guided meditation is about clearing the energy in your body also being crystalline in nature. All right, what time do we go? Everybody back. Let's see. We'll give one more minute while I get our session started. This is a guided meditation with Orin, channeled by Sanaya Roman. And this is something that I use when the moon is full. We talked about clearing and letting go. This is this particular collection of meditations. There's maybe about 25 meditations, so it would take me, a couple of weeks to go through them. I would do one when I wake up in the morning. I would just clear my energy before I went into my day. I've used it when I've had negative emotions where I knew that I get to choose how I feel about a particular situation, and I wanted to be able to raise my frequency. So clearing the energy of others is something that this particular program will also help with. Big stretch. I always get new ideas and thoughts on how to do things differently when I participate with these meditation journeys. I understand that we've gone over, so we're going to go ahead and have a raffle. We're going to have two. The first raffle, Kachina, I'm going to go ahead and do mine. It's for a crystal energy reading where I'm actually able to use a pendulum to read your energy using crystals online. It will be a one-on-one session. I'm using tarot cards, so we're looking for everyone to pick a number between 1 and 21. And on the screen, yeah. Number between 1 and 21. Can you guess what this number is? Got a couple more folks. Okay. Everybody voted? And the number is 10. Rosie? All right. Rosie, I'm going to put the link in chat and we'll go ahead and let Katrina do her reading. Her raffle.
Okay, same instructions as Regina. Go ahead and pick a number, 1 through 21. Well, 0 through 21, technically. Okay, here we go. Okay, anybody else? Give you a couple more to submit. New drawing. Oh, I have not seen it yet. Has everybody actually submitted a number? Okay. This is the card. Concentrate. If you have not put in a number before, I may have to go with what is closest to the card number. Okay. And I'm going to go with who is closest. And that is Carol. It was 8. Strength. Carol, you're the closest at 9. So you have one with me a half-hour reading, angel or intuitive, or if you'd like to blend both. So I will send you my information, or you may contact me after this, info.sourcespirit1@gmail.com. Any of you, if you have additional questions, you can always contact me. My website is also sourcespirit1.com. All right, so congratulations. We've got a couple questions that people do want addressed before we wrap up, Regina.
Yes, that sounds great.
Okay. All right, so Divya, you had a question about pendulums and you wanted to confirm some information. What was that particular information you wanted to know?
So I want to know, how do we know whether a particular chakra is like going the negative way, or like is it like how it's imbalanced? I just want to know.
If you feel an area in your body when you think of something that is causing you upset or anxiety, You can normally feel it somewhere along the energy centers. And that's going to clue you into a chakra center that may be out of balance. If you are constrained in this area, you have throat problems, laryngitis, or a cough, it may be that you are lacking the ability to be self-expressed or speak your truth with someone. If you have lower abdominal pain or stomach pains, that may give you a sign. Wherever that physical feeling may be, that is one clue. Bettina, do you have anything you want to share? How to tell if your chakras are out of balance? You're on mute.
You may also notice that you may have a persistent symptom that just keeps nagging at you. And you'll notice it shows up around a time of stress. So for instance, for myself, my throat chakra can be my strongest chakra. And it's the first one that shows it's off balance when there's a problem. So I will get a persistent cough as I talk. On the persistent end of me speaking, it'll show up. And I know two things are possible. There's something I'm holding back that I'm not saying, and my throat chakra is blocked, and I'm not getting enough water. I've known those two things are possibly happening for me. So it also could be something else that you notice. Something's been on your heart and it's bothering you and weighing on you, and that may show somewhere else. It may not show specifically at your heart chakra. It's how your body manifests it and associates it. And Regina just made a post about the balancing of the chakras to give you more information. And it's also in your handout, some of that detail as well.
Yeah, I have a session, How Balanced Are Your Chakras, where we could meet one-on-one. And I have a Save 50 coupon. If you're interested in spending more time, we would actually take a crystal, a chakra quiz to see where your energies might be out of whack and how to be able to open those up and go with the flow.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions?
Couple questions. Now, Brian Lerner, who was in here earlier, I think he had a signal issue, and Rosie were both asking about singers, songwriters, vocals. Brian Lerner was talking about specifically as a speaker, asking about crystals that may be the best for that. So of course we're talking about the throat chakra, but also when we think about that, we're talking about blue crystals in particular. Some that may be singled out specifically for that blue topaz, blue lace agate. Now, one in particular, if you're feeling like you're not having a strong voice, a weaker voice. Now, this one, I want you to think about what the current answer could be, and you can add into the chat. So here's the question. The stone that is recommended for a weak voice is a red carnelian. Why would a red carnelian be the suggested for a weak voice? Think about it. Now remember, your chakras do interact with each other. And if something's going on with the lower, the upper may have some trouble as well. So what do you think the answer might be? Anyone? Enter it into the chat. Lefo, in a way, balance issues. So the answer, grounding, very good answer. So what's going on there is that the red carnelian is amplifying you to get a better base in the foundation, that root and sacral chakra, so that you have that foundation, so you have that confidence and that power to have a stronger voice. It's not necessarily the issue of the throat itself, but that interior feeling of confidence and self-esteem that needs to be amplified, that confidence, yeah. So that's why the red carnelian is recommended for a weak voice. So that's another thing to think about. When you're having a challenge, find out exactly where it's coming from. Sometimes you think it's in one area and something's going on deeper below that you look introspectively into. Take a meditation, take a beat for yourself. Where is this coming from? You can even ask your body, I notice that my tension is in a particular place. What chakra is near there? It may not felt in the throat or the chest. You may feel it lower. You've got those butterflies in your tummy. Maybe it's something else going on with the solar plexus. So that's something to think about. Another question was, what needs to be done to activate the properties of a crystal and attune it to you, and how often? So we briefly addressed that earlier. Regina, you have answer? Ada?
To activate the properties is to intend with focus whatever that affirmation may be towards your crystal, setting it. To be able to activate it and energize it is carrying that crystal around with you, that it is a reminder. You can keep it in your pocket or keep it in your purse, but touching that crystal and remembering what that possibility is that you created for yourself or something that you want to manifest, it's repeatedly bringing your thoughts back to that particular focus. And the crystal is designed to be able to remind you whatever it is you want for yourself in your life. How often? Katina and I talked about the moon cycle. So when the moon is full, like it's going to be on Wednesday, practice letting go of things that may be holding you back or things that you're attached to, clearing your crystals on the full moon. The new moon is when you are able to manifest, create, and intend with power when you're using the cycles of the moon. Katina, did you want to add anything?
Also, you may feel or notice that you're not carrying your crystals or paying attention to your crystals if it's time to clean them. Also, make sure, they're sitting on your shelf or wherever you prefer to put them, clean them. Pay attention to them. If there's dust collecting, it's time to clean it. Think about that. Also, with the ones that you're carrying with you, sometimes you need to rotate them just to give a crystal a rest so that it can recharge and energize, and make sure that you give it a chance to clean so that it doesn't break. Like I mentioned earlier, sometimes if a crystal is working overtime to divert the negative energy away from you or what's going on in the room, it may break. When a crystal breaks, what do you do with it? Sometimes this is a question that I know sometimes doesn't get addressed because we don't think about it. When that happens, return it to the earth. Go bury it somewhere. Do you use the crystals for angel medicine? Yes. That is a question perhaps to me. Yes, the crystals can be used. We talked about some earlier crystals. Selenite is one of them. Angelite, which I have here. That is another. Questions about selenite. Now, selenite, its properties, it naturally splinters. So whichever state it is in, you have to be mindful because that points to how fragile it is. So any crystal, make sure you pay attention to, is it in its raw state? Because it may be more fragile in its raw state versus when it's been tumbled. Selenite is especially one to watch out for. Also, the shape of the crystal has a lot to do with its powers as well. If it has a point or it has points in either direction, that can be used for particular uses. If it has a natural opening to the center, it can be used to access higher consciousness or portals. There's a lot to it. I just pulled out my book that I have, this one. This one is the Illustrated Guide to Crystals. This is a shorter version. There's a crystal Bible out there that's practically a tome. It's small, but it's about this thick. You can also use the information. It also includes where are the best places to wear it on your body to amplify the power. Also has information on what is a crystal and what isn't. There are some things that are marketed out there that are crystals that actually are colored glass. So you have to pay attention to your sources of where you're getting your things from. What crystals are good for protecting ourselves and the eagle eye? Regina?
Protection crystals. Erica, I'm looking for that link with the quiz, so I will post that. It is in the handout, by the way. Protection crystals, be it third eye or any of the chakras, your energy as a whole. The very first crystal I purchased was for protection. Once I realized that I was picking up on the energy of others. So going with the black crystals is my thought. Black tourmaline is one. Shungite is one that protects you from electronic devices. And another piece of black tourmaline. So as far as that third eye, being able to activate it to open it up, using something like amethyst or purple fluorite will help you to activate that crystal. The black ones are used primarily they're great for protection, that you have black crystals with you when you're going into negative spaces.
Yeah, black crystals in particular absorb negative energy, so those are especially ones that you want to clean a little more frequently as well.
So even the black tourmaline?
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, especially obsidian. So someone asked about obsidian, especially because obsidian is actually, it's black, but it's actually slightly transparent. So you definitely want to use that. And just a fun fact, obsidian is actually used for scalpels in medicine in a lot of conditions. It produces a better incision than metal itself. It's less jagged. Any other questions before we go? Razi, I think is.
You asked us to get our crystals so we can join them all together. So I have mine here when we decide to do a session. But I don't know if you can see this one right here. It's like,
Black?
no, it's really red, but it got on the other side, it's turned black. It got like spores sticking out. I haven't opened this up in like maybe
Is that a
5 or 6
crystal?
years. Yes, I have 2 of them. And both of them are black on the other side for some reason. See the red?
Oh, yes. How
And it turned
interesting.
black. I don't know how it did that on one side.
Huh. I'm not sure what that is. You might be able to go to Google, images.google.com, and look up the different colors. I know that one is unikite. But
So
the green,
is it supposed to turn black on the other side with spores sticking out?
I don't know what those things sticking out are. It might be asking Google what it is. It's hard for me to see over the camera.
I can see that it's pieces of the crystal, like it's as if it were reaching out energetically. Yeah, I would definitely look that one up.
Okay.
One more question from Ada.
Mhm.
Is there a way to test that a certain result or manifestation is due to a crystal or other energy work?
Is there a way to test? I would think you could muscle test kinesiology. I know that manifesting a house was something that I wasn't able to do by myself, that I had used a crystal to be able to use focus and intention, my own thoughts creating things. So as far as a way to test, the only thing I know of would be kinesiology, and that's muscle testing to see whether or not the crystal helped to manifest that item.
I would also add that you should remember when it comes to crystals or anything that you are doing with the power of intention, your own power, what you give power has power. So be mindful of that and be wise about that. Carol asking, what would you recommend for storing your crystal collection? That's up to you. I personally, I have a shelf of sorts. I wouldn't call it necessarily an altar, but it keeps the dust away, and I do periodically dust it I actually use a can of air on some of my crystals because using a rag is not good enough. But I do it from a distance so that it doesn't hurt the crystal. You may also keep them in pouches, or some people keep some, depending on if they get affected by sunlight. You may keep them stored in something. That's completely up to you. Also, someone was asking earlier and wondering about which crystals to choose, things like that, or even choosing like a color pouch. What you're drawn to, your soul, your guides, they're telling you what you need. So if you're drawn to that black pouch, maybe you need that black pouch. Or if you're drawn to that particular crystal, there's something that it's able to help you with. Look up the information about it. For me, when I'm working with my patients, just an example, I will hear from my guides a particular acupuncture point, and acupuncture points have multiple uses, depending on what you're combining them with or just alone. And sometimes I don't know off the top of my head why that point, and then I go look it up, and that's why that point it's meant for that reason. So just know that there's just your intuition and your guides. They're talking to you all the time.
Also, I had this in my pouch. Like, I don't know if you can see it. It's not a stone.
Mhm.
It almost looks like wood or something, but I don't know if this is like a recharges or something like that. I'm like, I haven't opened a pouch like this in maybe 7 years.
That might be another one to Google. It might even be some type of fossilized item.
Also, some stones that we don't think of commonly as crystals just because they don't look shiny and crystalline still count, like Shiva lingams, which are stones from India.
Because
I think you froze. Any other questions?
And they have yin and yang
There you
properties.
go.
so you mentioned also the purple stones. So this is an example, I think, what Regina spoke of earlier. Okay. Okay.
Beautiful
So
color.
was this one of the stones you showed as well?
That one looks like citrine.
Okay. So again, if I need to, since I haven't cleaned them or made an intent on them, that means both the actions need to be executed. So to help me in my journey.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Katina, there's a question from you from Ada. Can you explain on what you mean about what you give power to gains power?
No problem.
Yeah. Oh, we lost her. Ada, I'll share. Like attracts like. Happy people attract happy people. Sad people who are grieving, they attract, sad people. So with that concept, whatever you focus your intention manifests and expands, whether it's a negative emotion or a positive emotion, that anything that you put out into the universe is going to come back to you. That's one of the areas where I talked about the heart chakra, where if somebody is dealing with a lot of debt, there may be some forgiveness of self that needs to take place, and putting that love out into the universe, putting abundance out into the universe, has love and abundance come back.
Also, how do we clean up houses for people that have them? Do you just wash it like anything else, or it's a special?
You can wash them with water.
Okay.
Right? That is able to cleanse them. To be able to clear them is using the sun or the moon or your breath.
And that's for the pouch.
The crystals, the
The
pouch,
in the pouch?
No man-made thing is going to deter the power of a crystal. You could put it in a box, you could put it in a bag, you can put it in your pocket, you can put it in a leather pouch, a cloth pouch, doesn't matter. A crystal isn't going to be impeded by a man-made element.
No, I'm asking, do you need to wash the pouch or is there the procedure in order, when you're doing your stones and you're doing all of that, the pouch, if it hasn't been cleaned in a while as well, how would you go by the process?
Well, let me ask the question of you. Are
Okay.
you ready to clean your pouch
Oh, yeah, I didn't, like I said, I haven't looked in 7 years until you actually
in
bring
the
it up.
washing machine? Yeah.
No, I could just put it in sink. That's not good
You
enough?
couldn't hand wash it?
Okay,
Yeah, if you're sensing that it's time to clean your pouch, then I would go with your intuition, yeah.
okay, appreciate it.
Katrina, there was a question that Ada had asked. I think you had taken a look, but did you want to speak to that? What you give
I
power
heard
to
you
gains?
answer it. I heard you answer it. I had a signal drop, so I lost the whole feed and then came back to you answering it. You answered it. It's good.
Oh, okay. All right. Any other questions? We're going to wrap up with a song and we will see you guys at the next meetup. Going once, going twice. We good? All right. I'm going to share a song and we will let everybody go.